main team that you're a fan of, the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they are traveling to a very cold place. Very, very cold place.
Nice.
They're saying -2. Wind chill could be, who knows what it could be. Kansas City Chiefs team obviously has played in that type of weather for a long time. Andy Reid was actually asked about the weather, and he basically just stated, like, it is what it is pretty much. And then he gave a nice little metaphor at the end because he's Andy Reid. Always end on a high note. Here's Andy Reid talking about the weather. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on Miami having to deal with it and what McDaniel's message probably is.
The guys are pretty resilient, and so you get yourself ready, and if it works out that way for you or whatever, I don't know how to quantify that.
It's cold. Yeah.
So I just say get ready for the game. Let's do that. I don't really care what goes on out here. We're not having a snowball fight.
Okay. So there's not a snowball fight, although we have seen those before in NFL stadiums and NFL games. But dealing with the cold, I'm from Pittsburgh. It gets cold in Pittsburgh. I've heard too many assholes tell me when it gets cold, you're from Pittsburgh. Doesn't mean I like it. You know what I mean? And everybody, AQ moved to the warm weather as fast as he possibly could. He's from Pittsburgh, rather tough guy, I think a lot of people would say. But the old adage is like, Florida boys don't like to play in the cold. That's just how it is. This Miami team, a lot of explosives, a lot of energy. But don't you think that there's a chance that you actually use this game as like a celebration? Don't get to be in the cold. Don't get to be in the snow as much.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So how big of an advantage do you think this is for Kansas City that it's going to be miserably cold, freezing cold? We played in the freezing. Were you there for the game we played there? It was freezing cold?
Yes.
Frozen field.
Oh, yeah.
I come on the field to warm up, okay? Frog, my guy, equipment manager, he's like, hey, you need to be wearing a flat because of how, I'm like, Frog, I'm going to wear a cleat. So I go out there, first punt, warm up, bang, right in front of, there's like 40 Chiefs fans, probably that bank robbing son of a bitch right there, pointing, laughing at me. I'm like 6 feet away on the ground in the back of the end zone, pointing, laughing at me, acting like I'm an idiot. And then Frog comes running over, obviously, and Frog goes, here's the shoe you need. It was an ice skating rink. It was an actual ice skating rink. We ended up winning that game. Bruce Arians gave a speech at halftime that literally just said, it's cold as shit. Let's win and get the hell out of here. And that was the motivation that we needed. Do you think the Dolphins are in a massive disadvantage for this because Kansas City's been here, done that before? And does it matter?
It definitely matters. It definitely matters. And just like late in the season when some teams come from, weather like this and then go down to South Florida and you're dealing with that heat and humidity because a lot of our off-season now looks kind of like that picture right now. And then you're going up there on a Saturday. You got to play a football game.
It would have been good to be here the last
but I mean, that's why you got to win those
12
games.
12 hours or so would have been nice.
That's why you got to win those games, man. And I'm more worried about, obviously, the team. We struggled against good teams, good ball clubs. And obviously, Kansas City is that. Patrick Mahomes is that. Andy Reid is a great coach. They're going to have a great game plan. It's going to be Tyreek Hill, our biggest weapon. He's used to playing this weather. He's been in these big games. He'll kind of be in that revenge game mode. But as long as we're out there, once you start playing football, once the blood gets flowing, it's football again. TV timeouts up. You stand out there in the field, you're not by that heater, but you got heated benches, you got your helmet heated. So once you start playing, it's not that bad, but it's definitely an advantage in Kansas City's favor.
For kickers and punters in this game, and not that they need it, they probably already know, but for others in the future, and even players, everybody can learn from this. They give you those big parkas, those big things. The key to this, and Vinatieri, I don't know if he had mastered it before I got there, and he's one to introduce it to me, but this is just how I've always known. You turn that sumbitch backwards, okay? Ooh. You put that over top of you, and you sit on that heated bench because there's heat coming from the bottom as well for your shoes. So not only are your ass and your back getting heated up, but now you got hot air coming through your entire body. I would sit on that bench until it was fourth and whatever. Like not even warming up in the net. I'm not even hitting one over there. That thing's loose. That thing's making me more cold than it. I just sat literally with this thing the whole game sweating. I'm having a great time.
Have to.
They're like, it's -5. I'm like,
not right.
Really? It was phenomenal. You don't get the luxury of doing that while you're playing the game.
Sure.
But those of us that are on the sideline, that is the play, that is the move. But that's how much it goes into whenever it's miserably cold, like trying to figure out how to stay warm. When do I go over to heat a bench? Do I go over to the little torch thing that doesn't really work that well for other than about 2 inches of people and everything like that? It's a whole nother added element, and that's why the home field advantage is a massive ordeal. Go ahead, Tom.
I know Brady wore scuba suits. Like, can punters, can D-backs wear scuba suits? I know the O-linemen, like idiots, will will not wear anything.
Not anymore, though.
tough.
Not anymore, though.
It's changing.
Yeah.
Definitely changing. You're seeing more sleeves on O-linemen more than ever.
I tried.
How do you feel about it?
Listen, I mean, I love the old school thing, but I'm also I've grown a little bit.
You're 260 pounds. You
I've
live in
moved
the
in
desert.
warmer weather. I've figured out, why not be comfortable?
Yeah, cold sucks. For
Why not be
everybody.
comfortable?
You got to find out what works for you. And recently, Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer, and College Football Hall of Famer, now Randy Moss. One game we were having, I believe my rookie or second year in Chicago. It's cold as hell, wind sideways, may have been snow, hell, whatever. And I'm out there, no sleeves on, trying to be tough. Hey, get your ass in there, put some sleeves. You ain't intimidating nobody out here. He had his sleeves on. So you got to do what works for you. I know Tom wore the scuba suit, whatever works for you. Some guys.
What's that stuff?
Some guys, new skin.
Yeah,
or
skin.
Vaseline or whatever it is.
Just
But
so the
sweet
wind
sweat.
won't cut
for me,
through
it's
you.
fingies and the toes. As long as those are good, I'm all right. And it's the one time in football where you actually, at least me, you actually kind of think about when you're gonna hit somebody. Like, it's like, shit, filling holes, hitting the ball.
I
Like,
said, you think about
actually
kicking the ball because it's impossible.
Yeah, it's going to
Things
suck.
you talk
Yeah,
about.
because normally when it's cold, it's windy too.
Yeah.
You know, that's why wind chill's there. And wind is your biggest disadvantage. So not only is the ball worse, the wind is your nightmare. So they're coming in abundance, and you've just been laughed at by fans because you fell on your ass. So, yeah, it's not fun. Good luck to all of them.
JJ, there's a lot of talk going on about the cold weather games coming up on Super Wild Card Weekend. Obviously, Andy Reid doesn't seem to be too bothered, too upset by anything that's going to happen outside. Do you have any tricks on what you used to use, like when it was cold? Did you warm up shirtless? The whole intimidation situation, which I don't know how that works. But what did you think about when you got to play like in a truly, really, really cold game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand the whole shirtless warm up thing either. I mean, I would do sleeveless from time to time, but not as an intimidation factor. Like, I don't know how much intimidation factor there is pregame in the National Football League. You know, you're going to go out there and you're going to play the game the way you play the game.
I don't
There's
know.
intimidation.
I used to punt, but you remember, you used to tell me you could feel. I used to punt balls over teams.
Yep.
As they were coming. Remember, that intimidated you. Yeah.
The kicker thing where they kick like through the cheerleaders or where they kick while you're being introduced, that's always fun. I love that.
Intimidating, right? You mean that's what you're talking about?
Oh, super intimidating. Nothing better than a 160-pound dude just bombing balls through the field goal post. That really scares the shit out of you as a player.
All right, go back to your answer, please, about the cold.
But no, I mean, the cold is – I grew up in Wisconsin. So, like, you know, playing in cold, playing in snow, things like that. I mean – now that I'm older, and as I got older in my career, would I rather play in warm? Absolutely. It's just easier for your joints to get lubed up. It's easier for your body to get warmed up, to get ready to roll. But there's also something to playing in those cold weather games, especially if you get a little snow on the ground. It's like old school football, and it does click you into a little bit of a different mentality, a little bit of like a little warrior mindset. But you also do have to worry about the things like footing, like, you know, what type of cleats are you going to wear? We talked about that last week. All those things really come into effect. What type of gloves are you going to wear if you're a receiver? How's the quarterback going to handle the ball? All those types of things. But I tell you what, some of those hits, like you hit your hand on somebody's helmet, or you get like something happen, like those hurt a lot worse in the cold. That's just a pure fact.
Yeah, that's why I try to never hit anybody. You know, I try my best to just not hit anybody. You guys, I don't know what you were thinking doing all that tackling in the freezing cold weather.
You smack your hand on somebody's helmet in freezing cold weather, man. That finger doesn't come back to you for about 4 or 5 plays.